Hi, my name is Theodore Cottingham, and I teach Meonics, not a form of godliness where you worship God, but you become original source love before all of the designation, classification, hierarchy, patriarchy took place to define a God to us and set up a system of government, a system of education, all in the guise of religion, with the motives of serving servanthood. I teach leadership for you to go where no man has gone. If you're ready for love to lead, love will teach you. Original source love will teach you. Original before the origin of God took place. The God story. If you're willing to let love teach you, where you don't come and determine the how, the when, the what, the approach, the questions, the answers. If you don't determine that in your knowledge, your arrogance, or your ignorance, if you begin to let, love will teach you. And love will teach you directly. Original source love, love that existed, not between a man and a woman, not between gender, not between races. I'm talking about love that existed before time, before the origin of our story, before the origin of our God story, before the origin of any Bible. I'm not interested in God worship. I'm leaving God behind. Because I began to see increasingly this year, and I've described it in many videos and developed it and shared many Bible verses, connections, creating revelation for you to see also the difference between what we've called God and what original source love is. Many want this story, this message. Many feel content. Many feel like they have the truth. You may feel like you have the truth, but are you free? Free from what? Free from turmoil, conflict, the accuser, the mind of the beast that you carry around 24/7 between your ears that accuses you. Demean you, debase you. Free from the flesh. Free to do the things Jesus did. Are you free? Or are you worried about what people may think of you? You're worried about that ring on your finger, or what that means, or what the ramifications of all this change is. Are you willing to be free? Are you willing to determine what freedom is? I'm talking about freedom to be you. Freedom to be you, the real you who existed as such, as you, with your identity, not your flesh, not your name, not this language, not this planet restricted to, but what you really were before we got caught up in all of this mess, the tangled web of deceit, entanglement of neurons, electrons, bastions of kindness, not but conflict. Are you willing to go where no man has gone? Are you willing to go where there is no religion? No religion. Are you willing to even entertain the idea of going where there is no God to worship, and there's no God to condemn you? There's no God that set up a hell for you. There's no God visiting your sins as defined by it to your children, the third and fourth generation. There's no God of wrath. You see, are you willing to go where there is not a God of religion that religion has defined to us for us to serve it? Do you see what I'm saying? I am teaching for you to become, not just to learn. If all you want to do is learn, you won't become. But if you set your sight, your vision, your goal, your objective, your focus, if you open your willingness of your heart, the inner chamber of the perfect mind, the perfect will never try to convince you, but perfect will come and teach you if you will let the perfect joy, peace, unlimitedness, boundarylessness, dimensionlessness, no longer restricted to your molecules. Meonics is about you being the real you before time existed, where you look in your mirror and you begin to see me as the one, me, you. You can't sidestep this issue anymore. It's not that you know too much. You can't sidestep this issue because the mystery of Christ is no more. The unknowable God is no more hanging a curtain between you and it because we're growing up. We're no longer in Kansas, Dorothy. The Wizard of Oz has some great meanings that we can understand when we begin to see who's behind the controls of this earth. I'm going to do something new. I don't plan to teach like I have, at least at this moment. I don't plan to teach like I have so often, an hour a day or more, where I teach you the things I'm learning, channeling my teaching, channeling because I am not alone, Channeling because I am source of light, love, and peace. Channeling because I changed my source, you see. I'm not looking to God to serve, or for you to serve, or to comply with his wishes, or the wishes of anybody that's interpreted to you what you may call your Bible. Meonics is about growing up, growing out of the flesh, growing out of the limits of the flesh, doing all the things that Jesus did and more. That was the message of Jesus. Jesus never wanted you to follow, sit in a pew. What a joke. Sit in a pew. Read prayers from a prayer book you don't even originate yourself. Grow up. I invite you to grow up. It's not easy to grow up. In fact, a lot of times it's quite challenging, sometimes painful, because so many things you held as true you learn are not true. You learn what you thought was so very real that you experienced. You created the reality of, because you have the power. You're not separate from the power of the original source universe. Before molecules ever got seduced? Or are you no more seduced by your molecules? Your mind? Your thinking mechanism? Your neuronal network? I tell you what, I'm interested in those who are interested in being serious about this. Diligent, dedicated. To forthwith, go forth. Not in subjection to another. I love you, and my name is Theodore Cottingham. I have a school. I am a school of leadership, and I lead leadership to be it. So you're no longer operating under the patriarchy of a male-dominated system. And who am I? I'm an old guy in Eureka Springs, a simple guy, a common ordinary guy, with love in my veins, for I am not subject to the light of yours who just want to obey another, who just want to look for direction, who want to yield to their Holy Spirit the way they've defined it to you. Because the way people define things to you, unless you have found out for yourself, you accept their creed, you accept their creation, their interpretation, and you create it for you, and that becomes your reality. And you take comfort in that. You can go where no man has gone. Don't need to apply for a visa either. Are you willing to go beyond your imagination? Are you willing to take the limits off of you? Are you willing to learn from within? Are you willing to channel love and let love channel light? The knowledge to teach you to discern good from evil? Or what if we lay aside all the teachings, all the teaching of good and evil, and we no longer eat the fruit of that tree? And we come in humility to the tree of life that begins as a little child, you coming in humility to the real you, the source of original love, before this God thing ever existed, before there was a pre-God code. Will you love each other? Will you learn from within? Will you learn to channel a frequency, an energy of love, light, and peace, an energy that obeys no other, does not look to become subservient, does not look for judgment or condemnation, heaven or hell, a reward system of man's mind? Are you willing to go beyond man's mind into Meonics to be the real me? That's the you in your mirror, the energy of you, not seeking solace or a contemplative life or in ascetic ways. I ask you to consider a new learning system. And I've talked about Meonics for years, but especially this year. And there are hundreds of teachings on my channel, Theodore Cottingham. My website is theodorecottingham.com. And I have an email list if you want to keep up. If you want to communicate, I invite you to subscribe to the email list. It's without charge, so that you receive my occasional emails. I may start doing some new things, new ways. I'm thinking about some Q&A sessions on Zoom, or maybe another platform. More classier, students coming together, where there's time to interact with each other and learn from each other, not just from me, but about your experiences in learning to channel light, love, and peace. Not dependent on the syllables of your airwaves. So I invite you. This is not a small matter. It's a line in the sand. It's a fork in the road. I'm not interested in teaching, and you learning and do all the things that you've always done. What are you becoming? You see, I mentioned even in recent days the story in the Bible, the example. There's so many examples we have not gleaned the truth from. We've seen a story and we've interpreted it in the most shallowest of ways. But see, when Jesus, the story, had taught most of a day, the disciples come to Jesus and say, the people are hungry, they're tired, should we go get them food from town? Jesus says, you feed them. You feed them. See, he was not drawing the centrality of focus or attention to him. Look at his motive. So exemplary in John 14:12. If you believe in me, do the works that I do and more. Heal the people. Raise the dead. Be the one. Be my body and blood. Not of the church, but the love of one, to be all one. You see, we're coming into being the one again. We're understanding the one to become the one. And to become the one, you need to grow your own seed. You can't drink from another man's cistern. Oh, you can drink. You can learn. You can eat at my table. I invite you to. And I invite me to eat at yours if you invite me. I might even go. I might come. But what does that mean? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to see being said through your heart, in your heart of love? Not just the words, the way common newspapers interpret things. Are you willing to go beyond the energy of faith to see the face of the Almighty? Before there was one, there was you. The real you looked like love because you were the face of love. The arms, the hands, the body. Before this world ever existed. If you want to know me, communicate with me. If you want to know love, communicate with love. Woo love. Begin a romance like you never imagined with love. Original source love. Not the figure of God, not the ideal, not the image of God that has been imaged to us by religion. There's so much more. There's so much more for you. An existence without conflict. A life without need. A life that never ends. If you believe in me, you will never die. Just because you don't know how to never die doesn't mean that you accept the words of some other writer. It says it's appointed unto you to die and then the judgment. No, there's more to the story. There's more to love if you let love teach you. The seeds of love, the words are the seed of the living word. Not words stuck in a book, interpreted by some cleric wearing some collar, some robe, some authorized, supposedly ordained by some accrediting authority. When you're willing to wear your own authority, when you're willing to be who you really are, not conjured up, living a life of sorrow, trying to please your wife, your husband, your religion, your God. When you're ready to go to a new place where no man is gone. When you're ready to take the veil off of you and see the real you. When you're ready to take the flesh off of you and see the real you, your energy. Energy? The Holy Spirit. Your spirit. When you're ready to deal with real love, let there be light. Let there be love. Let there be action. Let there be fearlessness. In perfect love, there is no fear. I ask you to let your love come forth, to decrease, diminish, and demolish your fear of God, the fear of the unknown, the fear of being who you really are, the fear of walking in peace and power. No longer worried about body shaming or what your shape is or what man may say, or who may approve you or not. I'm asking you to come out of all of the words of man, all of patriarchy, all of the God system, and see who you really are and become it. And to become it, you birth something anew. It's not something you just believe. It's something you develop and grow with intent, deliberateness, discipline, and delight. choosing differently what delights you, what's meaningful to you. Let the words of light flow through you. Love is a process. Love is an energy not dependent upon this world. There's no jealousy in perfect love. And there's no control. None. In perfect love, there is maturity, understanding, not mental concepts of, not just purity of purpose, but you birth something where you begin to create your own power. And you are no longer looking for the power of God, the power of another source, the power of the cleric, the power of the ordained. You're no longer even recognizing the idea of a fivefold ministry. Oh, we're talking about no longer becoming subjected in subservience to the five sense mind, so that you learn to channel original love, and original love will communicate with you. And if you want to communicate like this, if you would even like to ask me questions to help you learn to channel perfect light and divide truth the way that I'm dividing it, rightly dividing the word of truth, understanding how much of what we've been taught of God is based on control, and laying that down. If you want to communicate with me, my website is my name, TheodoreCottingham.com. I plan to be communicating more differently, more and differently. And I'm not alone. I appreciate your input. Do you have ideas? If you love me, feed my sheep. Why? Life to grow. Sheep. Sheep are not as dumb as we have thought. The mind of heaven is no more a web of deceit and entanglement over us. We are no longer idolizing God, and God is no more our idol. So you take the first three commandments and begin to analyze, investigate, examine, and ask love about them for your answers to come to you, through you, not just accepting mine. Investigate yours. Investigate love. Examine love. Communicate with love. Romance love. Set your alarm at 2 a.m. I did for years, so I'm not suggesting you do anything that I haven't done. For years I did. And sometimes it was painful to get up. I was so tired. I could hardly drag out of bed. There were times I actually recorded the first person words of love, 2 and 3 a.m. At times, so sleepy, slurring my speech. When you're ready to grow up, when you're ready to quit doing the same thing you've done all your life and expecting a different result, when you're ready to no longer be sidelined in a pew, subjected to the authority of those who want to impose their authority on you. When you're ready, stand up. Initiate, act. Email me. I've given my email, my address. You know where I live. I live in Eureka Springs. I walk the streets almost every day. I go down to Brew's Coffee Shop almost every day and get me a mocha. A lot of people here know my name. I've been here 7 years. I ran for mayor one time even when I first came. A lot of people probably think I'm nuts. If you want normal, I'm not the one. I'm not your teacher. But when you're ready to go where? Where no man has gone. When you're ready to attain to a different result, when you're ready to open the door even to a different result, if you are even open to channeling perfect love light, discerning, entering a process, a system of education to learn from within you. Not just a textbook stuck in front of you to learn, line by line, precept by precept, with an exam trying to please a professor. My name is Theodore Cottingham. Enjoy. I'm going to do new things. I'm going to do new things that I don't even know what I'm going to do yet, because I'm tired of doing what I've been doing. How plain is that? I'm interested in connecting with the serious. If you're serious, communicate with me. Connect with me. Begin to act. Initiate freedom in your life to come out of your closet. To take off the robe of underappreciation. Take off the robe that others have put on you. Heavy burdens to tell you you're this, you're that, you're the other. Heavy burdens. Silence your word. I want you to find your voice. I want you to not only find your voice, I want that flow of torrential love to come through you at a pace you don't know what to do with. Experiencing joy. Not just knowing with a mentality that you're no longer in a man's authority, a system of patriarchy, a system of God, God word, God worship. You begin to experience something where all the trivialities, the hurts and the wounds, the disappointment, the despair begins to melt off of you. And it's not that you forget them. You're still aware that certain things occurred. You're aware of mistreatment, hurts, and wounds. But it no longer hurts because you're no longer dominated by your soul. You're no longer carrying around the active machinery subject to your chakras. You're becoming light. Light, I use the word. I wish there was a better one. In Meonics, you begin to activate the meons. Like a particle, as a particle, allegorical, metaphorical. Are you understanding? Meonics, meon, a different substance. A substance not of this world. A substance not limited to this world. The meons, not just normal photons, not limited to what you think a photon is, but an energetic particle, a particle of energy, and energy, not dependent on a wave, amplitude, frequency. This land, this earth. When you're ready, I invite you, and I invite you now. I invite you to share with me. I invite you to initiate. I invite you to imagine. I invite you to create. My name is Theodore Cottingham, a fool no longer for religion, a fool no longer for God. But a man of love, light, and peace. Walking in my own sneakers. Blue ones, in fact. I love color. I actually bought blue ones. I really like them. They're fantastic. I love color. You see the rainbow. Every color of the rainbow, every color of the energy spectrum, no longer limited to us seeing through glass darkly, seeing through the limited little slice of the energy spectrum. Visible light is only like this. When the spectrum of energy that exists is vast. The rainbow, the promise of the rainbow. My friend, looking no longer for a pot of gold or a Jesus to come serve you, or the reclamation of your soul, or a promised land that's molecular. Create yours with the living word, where you begin to subject yourself to love. You begin to see your value. You begin to see you as the creator rather than a survivor, modeling someone else's law. There's no fear in perfect love. No condemnation. I do not condemn you. Whoever condemns you is not of me. They don't know who you are. They don't know your love that exists in a body not subject to flesh, that your body of flesh is using to be you in separation. But when you no longer let your crown, your set of neurons, control you, when you're ready to walk out of the pit of hell, where your neurons control you, and your axon hillocks restrict you, and your neurons are entangled with webs of pattern deceit designed by DNA to control. When you're ready to come out, you can do so. The lion's mouth will no more hurt you, and the flames will no more singe your clothes. I have spoken. I have taught. And I've issued you new invitations to be the real you, to recognize the real you, to become the real you in power, so that you begin doing the things that Jesus did, where you're no longer afraid of what anyone will think of you, because you're willing to be the real you. No longer afraid of how you want to dress, where you want to go, what you want to do. No longer afraid to associate with the people. No longer afraid that you'll be excommunicated. There's no fear in love. People who want to excommunicate you, they don't know what love is. They never met it if it slapped them in the face. But of course, love would never do that. What does love do? I've told you over and over and over and over. Love bows before you. Love honors love. But love is not powerless. And love is no longer subjected to the rules of man, religion, patriarchy. I ask you to be the woman you are. I ask you to have a womb. Men, I ask you to grow a womb. That's what Jeremiah 31:31 is about. A womb, a woman, a womb will encompass a man, a person. See through the words I am giving you. See through the words of so many pictures, so many stories, so many metaphors. See the meaning, see the motive, see the heart, see the love. My name is Theodore Cottingham. I invite you to sign up, be on my email list to communicate. Do you want notification of when I do a Q&A session, a video Q&A session? Do you want to do one? Let me know. I love you all. I go now. I want to go walk down the street. I walk the streets 2, 3, 4 miles almost every day of this little tourist town, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And I'm a man of love, not limited to the manship of mankind. Because I have grown a womb, and my womb encompasses me. Because I have tilled my garden. I have pruned my life and my thoughts, and I have let love come to me through the words that I have channeled for years and years to know what I know and be what I have become. And there will be a moment of resurrection in ways that maybe you think was the glorification, Jesus glorified, or the resurrection. Is there a resurrection for you? Will you be no more afraid of the glory? Will you no longer study the cross? Will you no longer be stuck to the magnetic world? There's just so much more to the story. And your privilege is vast. Are you willing to see your kingdom and enter it? The kingdom of heaven is within you. Please don't wait till you die, because you may be very disappointed. But you have the ability to become a new creation, experiencing the new birth, a physical, mental, spiritual, complete resurrection to become you, not limited by your flesh, because the real energy of you receives to behold, to become, to birth, to operate in a transcendent way that exists only in pure love. Pure love that has no condemnation, no jealousy, exercises no control, is not fueled by fear, and honors you forevermore. I go now. TheodoreCottingham.com. You can email me at TheodoreEureka@gmail.com. I love you all. Be the real. Be the real one. Search out. Seek and find. Seek and find me, and my face will be yours. And your hands and feet won't be the body and blood of someone else's. You'll walk in perfection, not lacking a thing. And this is my message. This is Meonics. Behold the one. You're it. Look in the mirror this day with joy, peace, light, and deliver you from all judgment, deliver you from all condemnation. So their words no more inflict pain, wound, or despair. You're the light of the world. Good day. TheodoreCottingham.com. Theodore Eureka @gmail. See ya. Good day. And if you want to write me, you can write me at Box 34 in Eureka Springs, Arkansas for now. I'm here. I don't know how long I'll be here. But I'm here for the moment. And I'm inviting you to love you and live you, not the words of someone else. Live the flowing word, where you determine your truth, because you become it, because you birth it day by day in a process that completes the Christ, completes the immortal, the interdimensional, the perfect one. I love you. Go be you. Love each other. Tender, kind, forgiving. Let me know. If you want to meet in video, do a Q&A. Or whatever. Come out of your closet. Be willing to come out of your flesh. Be willing to channel love, light, and peace. I love you. Gotta go. See ya. And maybe we'll have a mocha one day.